Welcome back to the world of Entara, a realm full of unforgettable adventures. We return to the town of Marsuth, where 3 adventurers saved a boy from a band of goblins the previous day. The next morning, Silas returns to speak with Dr. Peleus Nilo, the herbalist who hinted at more work the previous night. Dante and Yamu follow along, much to Silas's quiet annoyance. Here, the doctor explains he's in need of a rare ingredient, Volander flower, found in the marshes north of town. He's too old to fetch them himself, but he offers 3 gold per flower. He mentions a traveling cleric already took the job a few hours earlier. If they hurry, they might be able to catch up. And so the trio departs Marsuth, heading north through flowering meadows. Just before sunset, they spot a campfire in the distance. At the fire sits our 4th adventurer, Xerxes, a tall, dark-skinned Aasimar dressed in pristine blue and white robes, embroidered with lightning motifs. His electric blue and gold eyes reflect the firelight as he welcomes the group. After introductions, Xerxes says, "I'm not too familiar with this area, so I appreciate having some guides." Silas and Dante are about to interject when a sudden commotion draws their attention. 2 massive brown bears are chasing a woman through the nearby woods. This is our 5th adventurer, Zephyrus, a towering Aasimar with light brown skin, curly, dirty blonde hair, and tattered clothes made of rags and pelts. She's filthy, primal, and unafraid. One of the bears slashes her, but instead of pain, she roars in rage. Zephyrus yanks a great axe from her back and cleaves the bear in half with terrifying force. The second bear hesitates, just long enough for the party to strike. Together, they bring it down instantly. After being invited to the fire, Zephyrus, with the help of Yamu, drags the bear carcasses towards the flames. She speaks little, but eats the roasted bear meat Yamu prepares, and reveals she remembers almost nothing about her past. Only survival. When questioned further, all she says is, "I only remember running from someone, and since that day, I have just been running." As the camp settles in, Silas and Xerxes both glance towards the tree line, their eyes narrowing. Without a word, Xerxes casts a burst of radiant light into the trees, revealing a small figure. It's a halfling girl in a dark cloak. Silas raises his hand, his veins glow red, and blood magic binds the girl in place. This is our 6th adventurer, Faerun, a halfling hermit from the slums of Leonex. One of her friends has gone missing, and she heard Silas was quite the capable tracker and wants his help. But after learning she has little coin, Silas refuses her request. Faerun does counter with, "I know about your job. If I help you get flowers, will you help me find my friend?" Seeing their group lacks stealth, Silas agrees to let her join, but says, "Save up 50 gold, then we'll talk about finding your friend." The next morning, the now 6-person party enters the marshes. They find plenty of herbs, but something's wrong. The Volander flowers grow dull, the petals rot, and strange mushrooms have begun to sprout where the flowers once thrived. Ahead lies a clearing under a drooping canopy of vines. There they find them, myconids, over 20 of them, mushroom folk startled and scared. Dante, always quick to act, draws his blade and slashes at one that comes too close. The creature stumbles back, but then Silas and Yamu intervene before things escalate. Here, they learn the truth. The myconoid spores are killing the flowers, but not on purpose. Their leader, a sovereign named Fudloon, explains they once lived in nearby caves, but then came the vine creatures, attacking without mercy, whispering strange things like, "Life is too abundant." Forced out of their home, the myconoids fled here. But they say if the vines are removed, they'll gladly return to the caves, and Fudloon even promises to help restore the flowers. Quickly, the party agrees to help. Fudloon leads them to the cave entrance, where dark, slimy vines cover the mouth like a living curtain. Inside, they're ambushed by a vegapygmy, a twisted, plant-like creature that regenerates with every wound. It slashes Dante across the arm, drawing blood. Annoyed, Dante growls, "You shouldn't have done that." His blade flares with radiant energy as he strikes back, unleashing a divine smite that cuts through the creature's body and drops it to the ground, no longer regenerating. But Dante doesn't stop. Even after it's dead, he keeps hacking at the corpse, again and again, until the others have to call his name to snap him back to reality. Deeper in, they find a corpse, an elven man wrapped in vines. Using his strength, Yamu rips off the vines and Feyrin searches the corpse to find a strange item on the body. A metallic hand crossbow with a metal barrel covered in runes labeled Smitecaster. And on the bottom of the handle, it bears a maker's mark, the letter P inside of a box. At this time, more enemies burst from the vines. 2 Vegapygmies and a hulking, twisted, wolf-like plant creature known as a Thorny. Covered in jagged bark and writhing thorns, its very skin is a weapon, shredding anything that gets too close. Zephyrus charges forward with a roar, cleaving 1 Vegapygmy in half. Xerxes calls down radiant light while Dante drives his sword through the second, their teamwork swift and efficient. From the shadows, Feyrin fires Smitecaster for the first time, releasing a condensed ball of magic that buries itself right into the Thorny side, but the beast barely flinches. Silas and Yamu move in together. First, Yamu grapples the creature, ignoring the pain as its barbed hide cuts into his arms. Then, while it's pinned, Silas surges forward, striking with deadly precision. Wounded and surrounded, the Thorny finally collapses, its bark cracking and thorns wilting as the party stands victorious. Then they hear it, muffled crying. In the next chamber, a young boy no older than 10 is entangled in vines. But something is wrong. After Xerxes shines his light on the area, they see that the vines, they are growing from the boy's skin. He cries out, "I can't control my body!" Suddenly, 4 Vegapygmies rise from the ground near the boy, and a brutal battle unfolds. Every blow to the vines causes the boy pain. Through sobs, they learn that the boy's name is Henry, and he tells them, "A horde of animals took me from Riverend to a green-skinned man in the forest. He fed me a seed. Then the vines started growing. I just want to go home." The group of adventurers destroy the Vegapygmies and cut the vines from Henry's body. But it's too late. Xerxes kneels down to inspect him, but says, "I can't heal this." Henry's life is slowly fading. Yamu solemnly tries to comfort Henry, but realizes what he must do. He channels his ki, ready to stop the boy's heart peacefully. Henry then looks up and says, Please tell Miss Louise at the River End Orphanage I'm sorry for playing near the forest again." Yamu whispers, "I promise, I'll tell her." As the words leave Yamu's mouth, Dante swiftly steps forward and drives his sword straight through Henry's head. Silence fills the room. Everyone stares at Dante in horror. He just says, "He was suffering. Better to end it quickly." Like lightning, Yamu lunges forward, tackling Dante to the ground. Fists fly until the two are torn apart. Xerxes points to the platinum dragon symbol on Dante's chest and says, "You serve Bahamut, the justice bringer. He would never condone this." Dante replies coldly, "I haven't served Bahamut in a long time. Been meaning to get rid of this symbol anyways." Yamu, with trembling fists, look up and says, "You're no different from the Nexus soldiers who destroyed my village." Dante just smirks. "I am a Nexus soldier." Yamu's eyes are filled with rage. "You have the same look on your face as your heartless empress. She will burn in the hells for what she has done." Dante suddenly gets serious and points his sword at Yamu. "Don't go making threats you can't keep. Otherwise, I'll have to cut out your tongue." Silas and Zephyrus step in front of Yamu, weapons drawn. Feyrin readies Smitecaster, and Xerxes glows with divine light. Silas warns, "You better leave, Dante. This is your only warning." Dante then sheathes his blade and walks away. From behind the group, Yamu yells with resounding resolve and composure, "Next time we meet, Dante, we will be enemies." After exiting the cave, the group returns to the Myconoids, carrying with them pieces of the slain vine creatures as proof the threat is gone. Fudloon examines the remains in silence, then gives a slow, approving nod. True to his word, he releases a gentle cloud of glowing spores into the air, allowing them to settle over the marshland like a shimmering mist. But even as the spores work their magic, the Volander flowers remain closed, dull and lifeless in the moonlight. Fudloon informs the group that the flowers will not bloom until sunrise, but with nothing more to do, the party sets up camp nearby and rests beneath the quiet canopy as the marsh waits to wake. That night, while on watch, Yamu stares into the fire, silent and distant. Then, Cephas joins him, placing a hand on his shoulder and says, "Rest, I'll watch." As he stands to leave, she adds, "Sorry about your village." Yamu pauses, then nods and says, "Thank you." By morning, the flowers bloom again. In a beautiful sight, the group collects what they can and returns to Marsuth. They give the flowers to Dr. Nilo and earn their pay. When asked about Dante, Silas simply says, "He chose another path." Then from the side, the group hears, "This tastes terrible." They turn to see Yamu biting into the gold coins he just earned. "Silas, I don't know why you like these things, but you can have mine. I don't want them." A rare smirk finds its way onto Silas's face, and Xerxes begins questioning Yamu about money where he is from. But he only gets more confused by the answers Yamu provides. "What's money? What do you mean buying things with gold and silver? We don't have any gold and silver in the Akirian village." From here, the group agrees on one final task before moving on, to fulfill Henry's last wish. Traveling north for a few days, they can finally see the city of Riverend, where a woman named Mrs. Louise awaits. And so ends the story of Roots and Rage. Thanks for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for more D&D stories. I plan on releasing new episodes more often. Have a great day.